Hey everyone, welcome to the Life After Work channel, and this is the Ships, Trains, and Planes Model Shop. I did some earlier video, but seems like some of it disappeared. Can't find it. That's okay, because I have some really good progress to show you, and it's not on the ships, it's not on the trains, and not currently doing the planes. So let's put this under the title of Stuff and Such. If you remember back when I upgraded my model shop, I made a point of not doing the airbrush booth because I was having difficulty deciding exactly what I wanted to do. So I started setting some criteria. And one was lights. Was I going to put a light inside the airbrush booth? Well, I have one, and I've had it for a while. And I was going to put that right in on the top of the airbrush booth, shining inside. But you got to deal with wires and what have you. And I still may do that. I don't know, eventually. But I have all these lights that I've put in. Got the lights back here. I've got clip-on light, the lights on the table, the modeling lights. I could always turn those into the box, but that gets very crowded, and I'm already somewhat crowded here because even though the model shop is a big shop by many people's standard, it's not deep in this direction, so it gets very congested, and having tripods and microphones and all that just adds to the problem. So how was I going to resolve the issue with the airbrush booth and cover all of my criteria? One was size. I wanted it to be at least 40 inches wide, 18 inches deep, and 18 inches high. I decided that before I even built a lot of this. That was because of some of the big models. And even then, the beauty of, for instance, my submarine, for you guys that saw the box opening on the submarine, that's 48 inches long. But fortunately, unlike a lot of models, I build the interior separately and they're this big. So I can handle those easily enough until I get to the hull, and then, I'm just going to have to go outside or something. I don't know. I don't know how to resolve that. Not a problem. You can resolve any issue. And I haven't had an airbrush booth up to now, but I haven't done much painting up to now. One car, my brother's Mustang, that I've been trying to fix. So anyway, I actually found an airbrush booth. Now here in America, it came from a store called Walmart. They're all over the world. People may see them, but the airbrush booth I bought from Walmart, you can buy in almost any store. You can get it at Big Lots. You can get them they're all over the place. And it cost, well, we have kind of high sales tax in Tennessee, so it was about $20 with all the sales tax and everything, the VAT as it is in many countries. So that 40 inches by 18 by 18, this airbrush booth, I got real excited because it came in at 39 inches by 20.5 inches by 18. Well, the 20.5 is kind of critical because my exhaust fans are going to go behind the airbrush booth, and I've got the garage door that opens and closes behind it. So I think I've got a solution for that. All right, enough talking. I know everyone's curious. Let's take a look at my brand new airbrush booth. It's not finished yet. I got to make a few modifications for here in the shop, but here we go. There you go. It's a bit of a surprise, I know. It's a plastic bin. I just turned it upside down, and I'm probably going to leave this lid on it and let that be the bottom of my airbrush booth. All I've got to do is cut a hole. Now you guys know me with my blue and red tape if you've watched me build this shop, so I'll get my tape out. There's a ridge here and a ridge here that are reinforcing, and they're perfect. There's none in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go straight up. There's a little ridge here. I'm going to go straight down this ridge, and then I'm going to go down to this reinforcing ridge. This piece will come out. That will then open this up so that I've got the entire spray booth available to me. Now the fans, I'll pull one over just as a reminder. These are the little exhaust fans. You see them all over the internet. I'll take this cover off. This will sit behind it. Well, that's where that critical dimension, it should have been 18 inches, but hey, you know, you got to make a sacrifice, is, well, what I'm going to do, two of these side by side will be a dimension of an opening I'll have to cut in the back, and I'll just move these in until I've got all the clearance I need, so that this will then, as soon as that's done, this becomes functional. I can use it immediately. So that's my airbrush booth, and I can now demonstrate the base down here is sitting on some sliders. I don't have them attached yet. I'm still trying to place them so I get the best pull on them. But let me show you. I'll pull this around. This airbrush booth will be in this position when it's all ready to go. I can turn around right here and I've got my airbrush booth. And then when I need to get back in here, do some other stuff, I can slide it back and I'm done. So that's my airbrush booth, and I'm really excited because it was an easy solution, but I've had to set my models aside because I needed the room to work on this. Once this is done, I can put some of the things that I had over here on the inside, you know, my spray tables and what have you. But let's take a look at one more thing. Now this is going to be I guess we could call it a rather boring picture, mainly because you just see the plastic. But if you look in here, you'll see a little indentation around here. I don't know if that's going to cause me a problem or be a benefit, but I'm going to get a shallow bin, and they make them, oh, I'm going to say they make them about 5 or 6 inches deep, but they do make them in the same width and depth, and I can set that on top and put paints and supplies and what have you on the inside of that. Or if they don't fit because I don't have enough space, I'll take the lid off and I'll just run a couple of screws through it, little shallow screws that'll attach it to the top of this, and I'll get one of those in clear plastic as well. So there may be some obstruction, but that's where later on, if I have to put a light in, I'll put a light in. But that's my plan, and it's going to be pretty easy to do. But I'll get my red and blue tape, I'll mask off what I'm going to cut out, then figure out how I'm going to cut it. Okay, this is what I mentioned that I'll probably do, and I've done it. I went back to the store, I got another bin. Now this bin is one of those bins they plan on going under a bed. It comes with wheels. Well, I took my X-Acto knife and I cut these wheels off of it because this one is not going under the bed. It does have either side lift up sections, which is good, I guess. This could even go away completely. It's about 7 inches thick. I can set it on top of my spray booth, do some simple either very short nuts and bolts through it or simple screws, and I have a place to put all of my airbrush stuff temporarily because I don't have a lot of headroom. I can't put in big shelves. I can't do the real fancy stuff that you see on a lot of other channels. because I don't have the room. So anyway, I've got that. That's probably the final step. I'll just put it all together now, do some cutouts, got to do my tape up, and do all that really good stuff. I said I'd figure out how I'm going to cut it. Well, this plastic is a really durable plastic, and there's a dozen ways to cut it, but I don't want real ugly, nasty, jagged edges around it. I may eventually have to get a fairly durable tape, maybe a tape like duct tape, and I'm not talking about the typical duct tape you use for a million different jobs. I'm talking about the real silver stuff that you put on home ducting systems or commercial ducting systems. Something just to cover that edge up, because it can cut. I've cut plastic before, this kind of plastic, and the edges can be nasty. There's also, there used to be a product, and I haven't been in an auto supply store in a while, that you put on door edges of automobiles. It's just, you can get it in chrome or black, and just wraps around the edges. It's flexible, so you don't get nicks and dings in your door edges. Well, I'll probably stop by and see if they still have that for sale. I'm sure they do, but that might be a solution for finishing off this edge. But I'm going to try to get it as smooth as I can, and I've got a choice of a saber saw and get a fine plastic blade for it. I can even get a Dremel saw blade. Try it. I'm not really thinking that's going to work, because this is tough and I don't want to burn up my Dremel. So I've got, a little bit more research to do, but I am this close to having what I think is going to be an absolutely great booth. It's going to serve my purposes well, and I hope to get it totally done for $20. So, and that's because I've already got the airbrush fans, and I have used those exhaust fans for some time, so that works for me. So anyway, there we go. There's a little stuff and such. Things are a mess here in the model shop right now. I moved everything that was over here out onto the table, so I had to move the New Jersey. There you go. That's my stuff and such for this week. Short video, too much talk, time for action. Thank you for joining me, and we'll see you next time. Bye.